So this is how your seamless wefts will look when they arrive in the mail. It'll be in a similar package to this. I just had one design, but it's longer and it's flatter, so all the wefts will lay flat when it comes in the package. Each package is 170 grams in weight and 22 inches long of double drawn Remy. This is color 5A Ash Bleach. So there are 12 pieces in the pre-made seamless weft pack, and there are 2 of the 2-inch size, 2 of the 3-inch size, 2 4-inch, 2 5-inch, 2 6-inch, and 2 7-inch. It is a lot of hair, and I don't even use the whole pack. But these can easily be doubled up as well if you choose to do that. You would just peel off tape on one side and then on another side of another weft and then adhere them together. And when you peel the backing off, you'll see a little fine line of thread on each weft, and that really helps prevent shedding and keeps your wefts all intact. And if you peel the tape off as well, which that's fine, I have more tape I can add on to this, the material that is binding the hairs together is kind of like a very flexible, thin, plastic rubber type of feel. And if you look to the side, I'll peel the other side off too, and you can see how flat these extensions really are. And these extensions are reusable too. So you would just peel off the old tape, you would wash the weft area, don't use conditioner on that step, and then make sure it's thoroughly dry, add new tape, and you are ready for a new fresh install. So I'm going to install this right now, and I actually have all of these colors in my natural hair. I think it's a really pretty blend for the fall and winter time. Okay, so the first thing I did was I taped a tape measure on my mirror just because I do include a diagram of just an idea where to place everything with the inches, so that way you can kind of hold up everything and organize it the best way if you kind of forget, how long each one is. Anyway, the most important thing you can do, honestly, is hold up the wefts and figure out your placement before. You can definitely double these up like I talked about. You can use just some, you can use the whole pack. I mean, honestly, I kind of change every time I do these. So I don't really have a set way. So I kind of just like to hold them up and see what kind of mood I'm in, how much hair I want, where I want it, that sort of thing. And then lay it back in a way, or just tell yourself in your head, that's what I do. I'm like, okay, I know the bottom I want the 6-inch, and then above that I want 2 7-inches. And that way it just really helps me remember where to put everything. I also have a foam poster board resting over my sink, so it just makes it like a really nice area to kind of lay everything flat, and I just got that at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so back to practicing. Once you install these, you can't go back and double them up. That's why it's so important that if you decide you want to double them up ahead of time, I mean, they're still going to be really flat. You saw how flat they are to begin with. It's not that much thicker. So you're still going to have a really flat install even with doubling them up, but you can't go back because remember, you're pushing your hair or resting your hair over the adhesive. So there's not really a way to double them up after. Yes, after you completely take the extensions out and wash them and all that and pull the old tape off, you definitely can double them up the next time. Also, another thing that's really important to remember is the hair is so silky when it's new. It does thicken up after the first wash. And I always notice that, I put it in and then I'm like, after the first wash, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much hair. So keep that in mind. You might want to go a little bit on the lighter side the first time and then, see how it washes and everything and how it, moves with your hair before you kind of put the whole pack in from the get-go. Also, I wanted to mention that when I got married, I had a ton of hair in. I actually had the seamless weft. I had an entire pack of these, and then my hairstylist added a lot of clip-ins in my hair. So if you don't put enough in the first time and you have some extra clip-ins laying around, the clip-ins actually work nicely with these, and that's a whole nother video. But anyway, just keep in mind there are ways to add more hair if you don't do enough the first time. Okay, so working with the tape and not touching it, it takes a little bit of practice. So if you notice, what I'm doing is I'm peeling off both sides of the backing, and when I rest it right at my scalp line. The tape is meant for toupees, remember, so it's meant for people that have no hair and they put the tape right on their scalp. So this is, hypoallergenic. It's completely safe for your scalp. I do rest mine usually right on my scalp line a little bit, and then it gets a little bit on my hair right below the scalp line too. If you're not comfortable with that, obviously you can put it just a little bit lower. But remember, if you want these to last 6 to 10 weeks, then you want to put them as high as possible, with not being over your scalp line, but, at least even with your scalp line or right below. So not touching the tape is a huge deal. So basically when you peel the backing off, you want to make sure that you're like really holding the weft underneath the taped area. I only touch it, I don't touch it on the tape that's actually adhering to my scalp line. You can tell when I place it, I'm just placing it, but then I have to push it with my finger on the top just really fast. And you know, you have oils on your hands, and there's just like, if you remove any of that adhesive from the tape on the sides, that's the first area that's going to slip. So see how I'm holding it underneath and flipping it around and just being really careful. So when you rest it on there, it's just as quickly as you can, touch the very end where you have to. And let's see if we can see what I'm doing here really quick. I'm trying to I need to have someone film me, but you know, for now I'm doing everything myself. Okay, so I touched it really quick, and then you want to drop your hair down as fast as possible over it. And then you want to make sure that you really press on your head to secure the wefts in there. And remember, only a fine line of your natural hair is going to, you know, join the adhesive or bond with the adhesive, and your hair's still movable and flowable on top. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this, like make another part above it if all my hair was sticking to it. It's just a little bit of hair that sticks to it. And you'll be able to tell where you can use the fine tooth comb to grab more hairs, because there's going to be that little line above the other weft that won't come up when you use the comb. So you'll be able to see like, okay, and I would say it's about a ½ inch right above the last weft is where you have some free hair to, you know, create another part line. So remember when we flat ironed the tape onto the weft in the DIY video? Well, you don't have to do that with these. They are ready to go from the get-go. So here's the reason why. When the manufacturing process happens, remember that kind of plasticky rubber material, it loves the tape. It's like, hey, what's up? It doesn't need to be pressed into it. You know, when you're putting tape on just like a machine weft, there's not anything on, like that material of hair isn't the most acceptable. You kind of need to fuse it together with the heat. It's not like, hey, what are you doing, tape? Let's hang out. It's like, oh, what are you? What are you doing to me? So this is a little bit different with the material that comes on the pre-made weft that I showed you earlier, that little plasticky material. The tape loves it. And because there's no oils or anything from, you know, your natural hair or anything like right away, it bonds really nicely. However, when you reinstall, so when you're using the Weft Release to take these out, or the Walker solvent, and you've had them in for 6 to 10 weeks, and you know, oils have been on that area and on the taped area, you have to pull the tape off. You have to get back to that plasticky rubber material and just really clean it really well with soap, with shampoo. I wouldn't recommend like a deep conditioner or anything on that, or even a conditioner on that area. And then you want to dry it thoroughly, add new tape, and you do need to flat iron then, because you want, even though that material loves the tape, just to ensure that there's no leftover solvents or oils or anything like that. It's just kind of an extra insurance when you re-add tape for reinstallation. So once again, there is no flat iron or heat needed when they are brand new, only for the reinstallation of these. Okay, so just what we've done so far, I did put the 6-inch in between my ears, kind of more towards the top in between my ears. And then I put 2 7-inch pieces doubled up right above that. The rest of what I'm doing is kind of just feeling it out. And that's what I do every time. I haven't, like I said, figured out the perfect placement for me, and I think it just kind of changes with my mood, but I know the bottom 2 are pretty much like always that. So just kind of figure out what you want to do too, and you don't have to double up the 7. I just do it because I like the 7. It's the whitest one, and it's when it's right above my ears, it just forms my head perfectly to do a double up on that. And speaking of forming to your head perfectly, so because these are longer pieces, and because of the material, and because of everyone's head shapes, and there's more curve at the top of your head, it is best to put the longer pieces towards the center of your head. I just feel like they lay the flattest there. So I have put like the 7-inch at the very top, kind of wrapping around where my head's more curvy, and it just doesn't seem to lay super flat. So I just would recommend, if you're going to use the 6-inch, 7-inch, and even the 5-inch, start, putting those kind of, between your ears and right above, and then move towards the top of your head with the smaller wefts like the 4-inch, the 3-inch, the 2-inch, and yeah, that sort of thing. So recently I finished working on a project for you guys. It's what I just kind of mentioned a few minutes ago, a diagram card and a it's kind of like a tips card. There's 16 tips. On the back of the card is how to reuse them, how to reinstall them, frequently asked questions. It is a ton of information. So I will be including those with any of the purchases from the Seamless Wefts. I'm actually considering doing a video just kind of going over those tips really quickly. So it'll be a shorter video. I didn't want to add it into this one. This one's already going to be pretty long. But my next video will probably be that. So make sure to look for that video because I think that will help if you have any more questions I haven't addressed already in this video. And I'll just quickly go over all of those. Okay, and just another reminder to wait 24 to 48 hours after you install your tape-ins to, wash your hair or get it wet. That's really, really important. I usually wait. I do 24 hours. Another really, I think, important thing is you don't want to wait too long. A girl recently wrote me and she's like, my hairstylist installed tape-ins on me and told me to wait a week. And I was like, oh dear, no, 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 no. Like in my opinion, I don't think that's a good idea because I don't know about you guys, but my hair gets really oily after like the 2 or 3 day mark. I can't imagine it's 7 days. I think they just all slip right out. So make sure you don't wait too long. I would say 24 to 48 hours is perfect. You want to be super, super careful the first few times you wash your hair within like the first week and be really extra gentle. It just needs some time, like we talked about, to kind of get used to your hair and being in there and let the adhesive have some time to settle. Something else too that you've probably noticed already is when you start to do the top section, like I'm doing up here, and I'm doing the smaller pieces, remember, because you don't want the longer ones at the top, you want to like release your hair over it immediately. Even though you're going to be putting more in the same line, like I'll be putting a couple more pieces next to this one. But you want to secure your natural hair over that taped area like as soon as possible. It really needs your hair because if you don't do that, it can just fall right out and then you have that wasted piece of tape and you kind of have to start all over because you're gonna have to pick it up off the floor and all of that. So just secure it in there and then go back and find that line again and create the part. It's just a few extra seconds, but honestly, it's so worth it. So not that I will for sure get this question, but I just wanted to answer it ahead of time in case I do, or in case you guys are wondering. But it's not a good idea to sandwich these wefts, and I'm sure you can imagine why. The sandwich method is usually in 1.5-inch little pieces, and it's usually where there's tape on one side, and you are just sandwiching your natural hair above it and below it and creating a, like a little tape sandwich. The outside, the very outside of both pieces is kind of that plasticky, rubbery material. And that's it. But if you were to do that with this, like peel the tape off and make huge sandwich wefts, you're really putting a lot of strain on your natural hair to be able to hold all of that. So I wouldn't recommend that. If you want to, like I said, cut these wefts into smaller sections and do the sandwich method, you definitely can if that's what you feel comfortable with, or maybe next time you want to try it out, you definitely could do that. And another little thing about cutting the wefts, these are so friendly when you want to cut them. So if you decide that you just rather have, your 7-inch, you want it to be just, a 3 and a 4-inch piece instead, or you want all of them to be kind of smaller, you definitely can do that as well. And they don't shed, or they're not, it's not like you need to, never cut them once they're this certain length. They're perfect and easy to cut. So I know my roots are, oh my gosh, really bad. I mean, look at that. But I have been purposely not coloring my hair because I've had a lot of you guys want me to do a video on how I color my hair myself, and I low light it and highlight it. And it's been a while and it's definitely time, but I wanted to do a video on that for you, and I wanted to make sure I got a really bad color to start with, so maybe my after picture will be that much better. No, I don't know, just so you guys can see the colors and what I'm doing on them. I wanted to make sure that I kind of had, a lot of outgrowth, which, oh yeah, I do. But it kind of works for this video because I kind of like all these colors together for fall and winter, and a little bit darker for me, and I love the dimension in them. So I am about done installing them, and remember, they do thicken up and I want to put layers in them and all that, but I just wanted to let you know I didn't use all of the pieces. I had a 2-inch and a 3-inch left over in the end, and my hair is really feeling thick right now. I've washed it since this video, and I'll kind of show you in a second. And it's, feels great. I don't know that I would need those other 2 pieces, but it's not like it'd make that big of a difference. So I guess I could double up a couple of those if I needed to, you know, next time. But yeah, so that's what I had left over. Okay, so that is it. And like I said, I haven't put layers in it, and I need to wash it and all that, and, you know, curl it and everything. It'll be a lot more full. But right now it's, you can see how flat it is and how it is just like moves with my natural hair already. And I just love it. I can still put my fingers through my hair at the top, and I can still kind of even brush over it if I needed to. You don't want to really get, you know, too close, but I mean, you could just lightly brush over your hair. And yeah, I completely love it. It's something I've been working on for like, oh my gosh, almost the entire year. But I really, really love them. And I'm just so happy with how they turned out. And I hope you guys will give it a try too and let me know your thoughts on everything. And yeah, now I'll go talk to you after my hair's been done and styled. Hi, so I'm back, and I washed my hair about 24 hours after I installed it, and then I dried it and curled it. And a lot of you guys have been asking what I use to curl my hair, and it's the Numi wand. It's, I'll put the name, how to spell it on the screen, and it's the 19mm wand. So that's the one I like the best. This is a second day curl. So at first it's a little bit tighter curls, and then it kind of falls nicely and super easy. I love this. So it's really flat. In fact, I was out shopping and I just touched my hair and I was like, oh my gosh, I think my hair extensions fell out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's really the seamless. I can't even believe how flat it feels. And that's like a true story. And that sounds like I made that up, but it's really true. Anyway, it's really, really flat. And if you're used to clip-ins or machine weft tape-ins, you're gonna be amazed at how flat it is. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this. If you do try it out, please leave a comment below or send me an email with a review, and I would love to hear what you think. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.